my last name right. It's always a guess if people usually put the R in a different place. So it's a good start. And thank you for your talk as well. It's definitely imposter syndrome, definitely something I have been experiencing preparing for this. So as Annie said, I'm going to be talking about Performance Max. I know we've already done a lot of hand raising, but I'm just going to ask for some more. I just want to get a vibe of where everyone is with Performance Max. So who here knows what it is? Okay, awesome. I think my dad's the only one that did his hand. And who here has used it for Ecom? What about lead gen? Okay, still a few. And who here doesn't like it? Awesome, okay, that's nice. I like some raised hands on hating it. I'm hoping to convert some people. Sticking on the negative for a minute, I went down a bit of a Reddit rabbit hole and found some forums on PPC and Pmax, and I found some of my favourite ones of reasons people hate it. I think my favourite is the borderline fraud. We always think Google is usually just online. Continuing with that, here are some of the reasons that you might hate it. You have no control, or a lot less control than your other campaign types. Don't have as many insights. It spends on those cheap inventory that you probably don't want to be spending on. Rubbish quality needs. You okay? And then the other one is stealing your conversions from your other campaign types. These are, well, as Charlie said, I am not going to pretend that I have every single answer up here now, or I can go into it all in the space of half an hour. But these are the reasons that I will be trying to address. So on that though, why even bother with it? If your search campaigns are working, if your shopping campaigns, if you don't like it, why bother with it? Performance Max has some really unique features about it that you're not going to get from those standard other campaign types. The first being, you are going to find converters that you wouldn't find through your standard campaign types, through your normal shopping, and especially search for lead gen. You are going to learn more about who your customer actually is, because you're going to give it those audience signals, which I'm going to go into, but it's going to go out and find more. It's got that technology, it's got the algorithm, and it's getting better since it's launched every single day. And the last one is you can use those insights and take that into your other campaign types, but you can also take that into your whole wider marketing strategy. You can find those customers that you didn't know were your customers and find them in different places. This is just an example of some of the clients that we have made Performance Max work for. There is an array here of Ecom and lead gen clients, which I think arguably is one that a lot of people don't think Performance Max is worth. So now I've got on about all the reasons that it's terrible and hopefully some of the reasons that it's actually good. What is Performance Max? It's a one-stop shop to buy across all of Google's inventory. So we have standard ones, so we have the shopping, search, video, display, but also these ones down here, which I think feel like it much love, but you've got Discovery, Gmail, and Google Maps. And it uses indicative targeting from the audience signals that you give it, and automated this strategy based on maximize conversions or maximize conversion value. So why is Pmax a black box? I thought of this, it was very late at night, and I thought it was really good and funny, but I think I was probably just like sleep deprived. But you give it the ingredients and it will make the pie. So that means that you give it the assets, you give it your headlines and your copy, your product feed, your audience signals, and then it will go away and it will find those people for you. It will put that all together and find the right order to put those in and present in front of your customers. That can be quite a scary thing, because this means that there's no keywords, you don't have control at asset group level of your bid strategy. But as I said, it can have some really, really big upsides. So just a quick overview of how we recommend using it, when you should use it for Ecom. The first is as your default campaign type. And by that, that's because it was initially made as a replacement or an upgrade from smart shopping. So that means it has much more advanced automation and a much more advanced algorithm than you're going to get from your standard shopping campaigns. The next one is your account has to have enough data. I will be going back to this quite a lot. Hopefully hammering this home, you have to have enough data. Performance Max it doesn't work in silos like some of the other campaign types do. It uses the data in your account to make it work as effectively as possible. So if you're not getting more than 30 conversions consistently throughout your account, it may still work, but it's not going to be as effective for you. And the other one is alongside a standard shopping campaign. So as I said here, it will use the other campaigns within your account to assist it. So having standard shopping alongside it is really useful for making it as effective as possible. When it comes to lead generation, these two are the same as the other ones, but this one I think is the main one to point out here. You want to max out your search first. So I'm definitely not going to stand up here and say that Performance Max is the best thing in the world and you should get rid of all your search campaigns and switch to Performance Max. You want to make sure that you are appearing for your high quality leads when they are searching for what you're doing. But there is a limit to search, and sometimes just increasing your budget isn't going to be the most efficient way to find your customers. And as I said, it's going to find people that you wouldn't necessarily find through search. And this is because Pmax is designed to assist, not replace. So having said that, what are some times that you shouldn't be using Pmax? The first and foremost is if you're limited by budget. As I said, it needs data. So if you're limited by budget, and that doesn't mean you have to have an endless amount of budget to make it work, but if you think of your cost per purchase or cost per lead being £50, and you want to put £30 behind it, it's going to be a waste of your money. Really, you need a minimum of one conversion coming in a day, or enough for one conversion coming in a day. I like to start the campaigns off of double your cost per action. So in that example of a £50 CPA, that will be starting at 100, and then once it's learned and taking some time, gradually increasing that. This goes hand in hand with that. And then the other one is if you have a non-conversion goal. Because Pmax is designed to convert. So even though, and I feel like this can potentially be a misconception that we've definitely found with clients when trying to explain Performance Max, it does bid on those upper funnel channels, but it is designed to convert, and it's designed to follow that user to those channels to where they're most likely to convert. So it's not going to be a replacement if you are looking for awareness or impressions, and in your video, even in your search, it's not going to be a replacement for your brand, because you're probably going to want maximum impression sharing that, or your traffic. You've got to make sure that your goal is conversions or conversion value. So what could this look like? Sorry, Kat, you see this example. So you've got me and Kat. We both searched time in Tesla deals. I'll be honest, she's definitely more likely to convert on that and actually follow through than I am. But for the purpose of this, let's just say that we're both interested in buying a Tesla. So Kat has a pretty simple customer journey here. She searches it, search campaign comes up, the ad comes through from your search campaign, she goes to the website, she becomes a lead, nice and easy. I, on the other hand, type this in, but I don't go to the website. Maybe I got distracted, maybe I just forgot, maybe I'm just browsing. And that's where search is going to stop. But Pmax will see my history of looking for Teslas and follow me to YouTube. And then from there, because I forgot, oh hey, I typed that in a couple of weeks ago, I actually want to get back to that, I'll click through from YouTube and then I'll convert. Search isn't going to get that conversion, which is why it's important to get the cats and make sure you have mostly of her. But don't forget about those extra ones that you may not be finding. Audience signals. This is, especially for lead generation, one of your main signals. Main things that you give Pmax to work with and find the right people. So what is an audience signal? It is a springboard for Performance Max, the algorithm, to find new converters. So really, Performance Max, as I've said, I'm going to hammer home, it's finding converters you wouldn't find through other campaign types. So you give it this audience signal here, it finds the converters in here, and what other demographics they may fit into, and then it will try and find new converters based on that. So what could this look like? Sorry, you guys are in it as well. This took me a long time to do, I've been told Anna that. Thank you. Yeah. Somebody's actually sharing this slide because she knew how long it took me. Yeah. So the audience signal that I'm giving is in market for electric cars. Seems pretty on the nose if you're looking for a Tesla. Kat is in that audience, and she converts. Great. Pmax will look at her and go, oh hey, she's actually fits into the category of being in the market for luxury cars. I don't really know what counts as a luxury car, it's a Porsche maybe. We've also searched Porsches. So it will start then targeting people also in the market for luxury cars. And if it finds that, well, basically most of the hot team here, also is going to convert, but actually everyone in this one stops converting, it's going to end up targeting these people, and it's going to leave your audience signal behind. But it's only going to do that if these people are more likely to convert. So this is an example of where actually you didn't know who your audience was. Now, this is one of the reasons that I love Pmax, because this can be used for your paid, well, your digital marketing strategy overall. Let's say you're on advertising on Meta as well. Maybe you say, hey, these people are converting really well. Let's try reaching them on Meta. Let's try hitting this demographic. And lots more examples of that, and you can do that in your other video campaigns or your overlaying in your search campaigns, and just understand your audience better and your customer. When it comes to structuring your campaigns, main thing here is consolidate first and segment only with a reason. I absolutely love branding structure. I like having a lot of control over things, but having run Pmax for quite a while, it doesn't like that. Pmax likes data. So you should consolidate as much as you can. You want to make sure that you've got that conversion data in there for it to be effective. And segment only if you have a reason. Now that reason could be you want to put more budget into one area than another. It could be asset relevancy. There are loads of reasons why you would segment. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you just have to make sure that you have a reason. Other than you just want to have a bit more control. The other main thing is exclude brand. So this is one of the reasons people hate it. It thinks it steals conversions, getting those easy conversions from brand. Performance Max is designed to convert. It's going to recognise, if you don't exclude your brand, it's going to recognise that people searching for that are highly likely to convert. So of course it's going to bid on them. If you exclude brand, you're going to avoid them inflating your Performance Max performance and actually find your new converters. There's a couple ways you can do this. I like to do both just to make sure I'm covered. You can do this through when you set up a campaign doing brand exclusion, and you can also do it by either filling out a form or contacting Google Rep and getting a negative list applied to your Pmax campaign. Google still won't let you do it yourself because they like to make it difficult, and then just excluding all your brand variations in there. But that can make a huge, huge difference. So I just put together just a brief overview of some tips for how you can structure your Ecom, your Pmax for Ecom. The first one being segment by value. As I said, Pmax is designed to convert. It's going to go more likely for the easy conversion to reach your target than the more difficult one. So this could be, it's going to get a lot of low value conversions than one or two high value. To have control over this and make sure that it's pushing in the right directions, segmented by value. This doesn't have to be by product price. This could be by product price. This could be your profit margin or your expected revenue. However you define high and low value, you want to be segmenting by that. The other one is split out new products. Because Pmax likes data, it's going to stick people with no sometimes. So if you just lump your new product straight in, it's going to take a while for those new products to get impressions and start converting. So if you can, you've got the budget, you want to split those out into a separate campaign and then add them into your main ones once you've got the data behind it and your conversion data. And the last one is similar to what I said at the start about having a standard shopping campaign alongside. You want that catch-all brand shopping campaign on a low priority, so it's not taking any of the conversions that you should be seeing in Pmax, but also that's where you're still going to be appearing on brand. This is a basic structure this could look like. So we've got our high value ones here with a low target ROAS because you know that they're more valuable to you, which typically means they're probably going to be more difficult to convert. And then your low value products with a much higher target ROAS, and then your new products as well. When it comes to lead generation, audience segmentation is queen. So another issue that a lot of people can have with Performance Max is the low quality of leads in lead generation. Your audience signals are your audience intent. That's how you're going to know what the quality is going to be of those leads that come through. So it's really important to consider your audience signals in the trusting marketing funnel that we want to use. So we've got the bottom of the funnel here, so this is your first party data. And also competitor side, which I feel like can be really overlooked and not utilised as much as they should be. Competitor side is something you could target, say it's people who are on those sites or similar. You're literally telling Performance Max to go and target the people that you want to convert. It can also be super useful if you don't have a massive amount of first-party data for it to go off. You then have your middle of funnel, so this could be, for example, if I am looking for brake pad quotes. I'm in the market for a brake pad or a clutch repair. And then you're much wider in market. This could be, it depends what you consider a wider in market, but it could be just car repair in general, or if you consider that still kind of in the narrow in market, it could be just an affinity with cars. And really this can help guide you in terms of your expansion plan for Performance Max. So similar to, you kind of think of this, another circle here being your search. And then your next campaign type of Performance Max is going to be this one, and so on. The other thing that you want to make sure that you add and consider for your Performance Max for lead gen is to let your keywords guide you. Make use of search themes. So search themes, if you don't know what they are search categories that you can just give Performance Matches a little bit more direction. So it's not as specific as keywords, but it will be search categories. So if I'm searching for brake pad quotes is my search category or search theme, that could include search terms such as brake pad quotes, brake cost, how much brake pads, things like that. So you don't have to have an exhaustive list of your keywords as your search themes, but you want them to be narrow enough that they are specific to your audience signal that you're giving it. So again, this is a basic lead structure of how that could look. You've got your bottom of the funnel here that you're starting with, and then you're going up to this one here. Now this is an extra thing that I think can really help avoid clogging up your bottom funnel, your actual leads with poor quality leads. So if you have here your high value, that's going to be the lead that you want. That could also be an offline conversion, depending on the amount of data that you have. But this is going to be your leads, and you want that to be high quality, so you want that to be bottom funnel. You can then have these mid and low value conversions to avoid having these more up funnel audiences that that don't have the same intent as down here, clogging that up and giving Performance Max really wrong signals, because it's going to go after more of those people. So what you can use here, it could be a brochure request, it could be, this one could even be just some time on site, browsing at least 3 pages, something like that, that will help you nurture this top of funnel all the way down to there and ultimately to convert. So once you get your campaign set up, the main thing to remember is don't set and forget. Performance Max can, the way that it's set up, the way that you set it up, and Google can really push you to be like, this is the best thing, we'll just do it all for you. But that's not the case. It may seem, and it is obviously, we know, it is a bit of a black box, but you're getting more and more insights all the time, and you do have levers that you can pull. So make sure not just to leave it and let it run. In terms of some rules that we have for optimizing, so don't touch that. I know it's quite counterintuitive to what I just said, but what I mean by this is for those first 2 to 4 weeks once you've launched it, depending on the amount of data, you want to leave it alone because it's working across 5 different channels. It's optimizing from the audience signals you give it, which potentially could be rubbish, and finding new ones. If it doesn't work in the first week, don't turn it off. That doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. It needs to learn. It needs to find where your converters are and who your converters are. Within that as well, don't fiddle with it too much. If you're going to change your budget or your bid strategy, try and do that once a week. If you're going to add in some new creatives or add in a different audience signal or bolster out one of your asset groups, do that and leave it. It needs that time to learn and find how that's going to be useful for finding your new converters. The next one is getting scripts. I absolutely love scripts. Not just Performance Max, just in general, I'm a bit obsessed with them. But scripts can give you that extra insight that you're potentially missing from just inside the platform. I think one of the best ones and the most well-known ones is Mike Root's roads the script. With that one, you can see where your conversion's coming from, where you're spending kind of by channel, from campaign to asset group to product, the whole way down. So that can give you really, really useful insights. That script is also great for lead generation. Campaigns, you can't see further than campaign level. You can only see where you're spending, where your conversions are coming from, and your conversion value is coming from at campaign level. But it's still great to know that where your money is going is where your conversions are coming from. Use the insights in there. Yes, you don't have as many as you do in your other campaign types, but you can see what search themes are bringing through, which ones have the most volume, where your conversions are coming from in those search themes. You can see which assets are doing well compared to which headline's doing better, which image is doing better than the other image. You can use these to do your tests. Don't forget to test. This is really, I think, a really important thing across all digital marketing, but especially Performance Max, as I said, because it can seem like you don't have these insights, it can be easy not to test. But there's so much you can test. You can test how you've grouped your products, which audiences you're targeting. You can test which creative is going to work well for one audience, if that's going to work well for another audience. Always be learning. We're still learning every day. The last one is a bit cringy, as I say it, but don't give up. It can be very easy, especially if you don't understand Performance Max and how it's going to work for you, to just pause it. But that's going to end up being a waste of your money. You're using Performance Max for a reason, because you've maxed out search, or it's going to get you more over standard shopping. Don't just turn it off. I want to finish off with a final few tips and tricks, which are examples of ways that you can actually use the insights that you do have to optimize those campaigns. So this is an example of a lead generation client. And these are two asset groups here. So we can't see at asset group level, as I said in the micro script, we can't see that for lead generation, where our money and our conversions are coming from. What we can see in here is that these two different asset groups have a pretty similar conversion rate, but the CPA is quite different. So this tells me that this one is spending a lot more on those expensive ones, search, and this one is going to be spending on the cheaper ones. So what can you take from this? You could say, all right, I'm going to turn this off. You could say, okay, maybe I should try some different creatives for these ones. Maybe I should try a different audience for this one. Enhance it a little bit, split it out more, see where those are going. And another one, and this is something I found super exciting when I found it out. The rest of the team wasn't as excited because it was like the end of Friday. But I adjusted the micro script slightly on the template, which if you want to connect me on LinkedIn, I will send it to you. I'm on a coder, it's not that pretty, but it does work. But this just looks at how the cost distribution has changed over time. Now, with this client, we launched Performance Max, lead generation. We launched Performance Max, and we found that it was working really well on some terms that for our versus our exact campaign and our phrase match. So we decided to turn the phrase match campaign off that we were hitting through Performance Max. That's when we did that. So I think what this tells me, first of all, is that Performance Max was not stealing conversions. It was not going after those terms before we turned off that phrase match campaign because we were already bidding on them within those search campaigns. The other thing is that when this happened, performance went down on Pmax because it's got all of this new data and all of this new way of testing how the audience signals you're going to give it, you've given it, how that's going to work, how they're going to work before on search, and video dropped right off. Performance went down, and we didn't touch it. We didn't relaunch phrase match, we didn't turn off Performance Max. What we did is we left it for a couple of weeks, monitored this, and we've seen since then, performance has gone back up. And it is actually pretty much just spending on, well, I mean, it's stayed pretty similar to what this looks like here. And Performance Max is now performing way better than that phrase match campaign initially did. So you can use these insights, and as I said, I will send you it if you want to find out how the algorithm works really. We actually have recently for the time launched a new search campaign that covers some of the searches that are coming up in this. So I'm interested to see how this changed and where's the idea data on my LinkedIn. So I wanted to finish off with some better reviews when I went down my Reddit rabbit hole. And I think these really sum it up. It is getting better every day. It is complicated and it does take time to get it right, which is why you can't just give up on your first hurdle after your first week. And as I showed you at the beginning of the clients that we're using it on, it does work for more accounts than it doesn't work for. And it can be annoying, but the upside is big. You can learn more about your converters and your customers. You can use that for your wider strategy, overlay on your search campaigns, and you're going to find people that you wouldn't have found another way from just increasing your budget. Does anyone have any